What is going on, YouTube? My name is Bubba for the win, as always. And today is gonna be kind of a quote unquote serious video. I want to tell you guys a story. This story is about a boy and a girl. I know, simple story, right? Just a boy and a girl. I mean, it happens every day. But this story's different. So it starts off with this boy who meets a girl. Simple, right? But the thing is, they go to the same school, so they see each other in class, and they just kind of stare at each other. It's the first day of school. They're just staring at each other, and they just look. When she looks in his eyes, she feels safe and secure. She feels as if the whole world around them just stops moving, as if they're the only two people in existence. And when he looks in her eyes, he feels good. He likes the feeling of staring at her. She makes him feel nice. She makes him feel as if no one can hurt him. She makes him feel fine. She just makes him feel good. Better than how he's ever felt, because he's been battling depression and things like that. He's been doing drugs. He's been drinking. He's been hanging out with gangs, doing things that he knows he shouldn't do, but he doesn't care because he just wants his life to end. But when he looks at her, he sees a future. He sees a future for himself, and he sees a future for himself with her. He sees happiness, which is something he hasn't seen in who knows how long. But the day ends, and they kind of just go home. But it's okay, because they both know that they'll see each other the next day. So the next day comes, and the feeling doesn't go away. He just stares and he looks. And it's fine, because she stares back. And they go on like this for most of the school year. But they never really say anything to each other. They just stare at each other like it's just there. But then the end of the school year is coming, and the boy asks the girl to prom. Keep in mind that these two haven't spoken to each other at all. Like all year, they haven't talked to each other. There's just been looks. They've just stared at each other. But she looks at him, and right then and there, she says yes. Right there, he dropped down to his knees, and he was happy, and he said, "Thank you. This is a night that, well, it will be a night that you'll remember for the rest of your life." So they go home, they go about it, they start texting each other, and then she goes out and she buys a dress. No big deal, just a dress, right? But then the night of prom comes. She puts on her dress. It is the most beautiful dress that I think anyone will ever see. It tops any dress that you've ever seen in your entire lifetime. It is the most beautiful dress possible. I mean, it's almost like a wedding dress, but for prom. It's amazing. And the boy puts on his tux. He gets ready for prom. He gets in a limo. He goes to pick her up. Typical prom things, right? Then he gets to her house. He's nervous, but it's a good type of nervous. And he rings the doorbell, Her dad answers. He says, she'll be right down. And then she comes down the stairs and he drops in tears, in awe of how beautiful she really is. And she asked him, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And he says, I've just never seen someone so beautiful in my entire life. And he said the three words that made her melt. He said, I love you. Then he asked her, would she be his girlfriend? And she said yes. In the back of her mind, she was melting, she was screaming. She was having the biggest moment of her life because this amazing person had asked her to be his girlfriend, and she actually said yes. And so they get in the limo and they're driving. They go to prom, everything's fine. They dance, they have an amazing time. But prom's over. And he's like, okay, well, the limo's gonna take us home. Well, the limo's gonna take you home. And then she's like, okay, so they're walking to the limo. And the boy's past catches up to him. Three guys in black hoodies come up. These are three guys who he had taken something from in the past, and they wanted it back. And then he says to them, I don't have it. So the three guys, they shoot him point blank right in front of the girl, and she takes him into her arms on the floor, crying and screaming hysterically as she takes him into her arms, and with his last breath she gives him a kiss, and he dies in her arms right there in front of the school.